What's up guys, my name is Mike Will at m.visuals on Instagram, and today I'm going to be giving you some pro tips and tricks on how to shoot night long exposures on the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE. Using the Pro mode, let's go. The S20 FE has a triple lens setup on the back, and it is also IP68 water resistant, which is obviously great if it's raining. Before we head out, I'm going to give you guys some pro tips on how to set your camera up so you're ready to shoot. Also, make sure you check out Samsung KX, London's hub of innovation, where there is a bunch of dope skill sharing content, including a video I made on the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra. Samsung gives you the options to customize your camera setup in phone. If you click on More, you then get the option of all the other camera modes available. Now obviously for today we're going to be shooting on Pro mode. If we tap and hold it, we can then bring it down into the bar at the bottom. Bring it all the way to the left, and that will become the main camera that's brought up when you bring up the camera. Click Save, and that's set up. The next thing we want to do is turn on RAW. Now we're going to turn that on by clicking on the settings, then we're going to scroll down and click on Save Options. Once we're in Save Options, we're going to click Save RAW Copies. Shooting in RAW means you don't compress the images, and this gives you much more flexibility when editing. Next up, we're going to be turning on the grids. Now if you go back into Settings, and then you scroll down to Grid Lines, this will then turn on the grids. When you go back to the camera, you should see the lines across the camera. This will help you know if it's straight. Also, it gives you a good sense of how the image is framed and if it's centered. Because we're shooting long exposures at night, you'll need to hold the camera very still, or you could use it and prop it up against something, and if you have a tripod, you can use that. Lastly, something else to think about while you're shooting long exposures is you might want to turn the camera upside down to create depth. This will also then help with stabilization. Now you're set up and ready, let's head to London and see what we can capture.
So we've made it to the first location here in London. It's a very wet evening. We'll be taking some long exposure shots on the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE. Let's get it. Here the phone is upside down to not only create depth for long exposure shots, but also keeping it stabilized, as I was not using a tripod. For all of these shots, I've kept the exposures at 0.5 seconds, which is great for blurs, but also something I can do handheld. If you want to get longer light trails, I recommend using a tripod and having the exposure set up to 1 second or more. The exposure meter is something else you want to check while shooting in Pro mode. Try to keep this around 0, as this will then help guide you to make sure the images are exposed correctly. If you want to keep the shutter speed at 0.5 seconds, for instance, you can then change the ISO to balance out the meter. Ideally you want to keep the ISO as low as possible, but you can raise it up depending on the conditions.
Here are some of the final images I shot on the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE at night, all shot in RAW and with the help of the grids and having Pro mode in the camera customized setup. Big up for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to tag at Samsung UK and hashtag Samsung KX in all your photos. I look forward to seeing what you guys can create using these pro tips and tricks. Also, make sure you check out other parts of the Samsung KX Hub of Innovation page, where there is loads of incredible skill sharing content available for you to browse and learn. I'll catch you guys in the next video.